On every property that I've bought, fixed, and refinanced, only one time did I miss, and it was a time I got confident and I didn't meet the appraiser of the property.
Hey everyone, Kevin Amos, Pine Financial Group, where we work together so you succeed. If you're just watching this video for the first time or stumbling across our channel, or if you've been watching it for a while, please hit subscribe. We have fresh content coming out every single week. Today I have a very special guest that you've seen once or twice on our channel, right. Travis Spear, also with Pine Financial. We're talking today about getting your property to appraise. And what I'm really talking about here, I guess mostly would be on the refinance transaction, but I guess when you're selling the property, it would come in handy. These tips would come in handy as well, right?
Certainly.
We're talking about property that you buy, rehab, maybe using a hard money loan from Pine Financial, and you're going to resell it or you're going to refinance it. So what are 3 ways, Travis, that we can get that property, make sure that it appraises for what we want it to?
Sure. This is actually one of my favorite topics because I've had experience on both sides of it. Some mostly fortunate, but some unfortunate. One of the key things is to make sure the property is finished. When you send the appraiser in before the property is 100% complete, you could run into some roadblocks. One example I had on a refinance of a rental property was the house was completely done, but the toilet in the bathroom wasn't installed. It was in the garage. Brand new toilet in the garage, in the box. The appraiser calls me and says, I can't appraise the property. I said, well, why not? He says, because you don't have a functioning bathroom. And I'm thinking, what do you mean? And he says, well, there's no toilet.
The hole's there.
Yeah. Well, and in some countries, he wouldn't actually finish the appraisal, so I had to have him go back to the property after the toilet was reinstalled. It cost me probably $100, $150 for another inspection from the appraiser.
Snap one picture,
so he could take one picture, right? And so just make sure the property's done. Also, I mean, even if it's a fixture missing, if it's dirty or there's things that just aren't, the trash isn't all out of the property or something like that, things that could influence somebody's thought when they walk in, because although appraisers are working off of some amount of science, there's still emotion involved. They're humans. When they walk into a property, if it feels good, I think that you have a better opportunity of getting the value that you want.
Okay, so step number 1, make sure the property is all the way finished, nice and clean, so it's good, ready to go when the appraiser walks in.
Right.
What's number 2?
Number 2 is to meet the appraiser. When I was really heavy into buying, fixing, refinancing properties, I'd always meet the appraiser. Well, how do you get the appraiser to meet you? I hold the lockbox code. I don't share it with the mortgage lender or anything like that. So I say, just have the appraiser contact me for access. So the appraiser calls you and you're sitting there at your desk, maybe your feet's up, and you say, I have the lockbox, but I'm not in a great place right now. Can I email it to you? What's your email address? So I get their email address. Why do I get their email address? So that I can then provide them with some information, which we'll talk about as number 3, so that I can try to show what I'm seeing for the value. Why is the meeting important? You meet them there, you can provide them with the information that will help you to get the value on the property, but also you might want to walk through, show them something you did, eliminate the questions. On every property that I've bought, fixed, and refinanced, only one time did I miss, and it was a time I got confident and I didn't meet the appraiser of the property. So I told my wife, hey, we're gonna buy this property, it's no money down or low money down using hard money, fix, refinance, and then we missed the appraisal by about 10% on a roughly $180,000 house. So when I got the appraisal back, I thought, whoa, okay, this is gonna be an interesting conversation. Yeah, remember that deal I told you that was gonna be no money down? Yeah, it ain't no money down anymore. That one was an interesting one. I actually ended up getting the value to where I needed it to be by rebutting the appraisal, but I'm confident that if I was there at the time of the appraisal that I would have got the value that I needed because I had the information, I just wasn't in a good position to share it with them.
And you get to build a little bit of a relationship with the appraiser when you're there, and if they start to like you, they might, I'm not saying you're influencing them, but they might
be more willing to
help
understand what you're seeing. Right.
Obviously, an appraiser is not going to appraise a house for more than the data can support, but we do want to try to get that highest value. Now, Travis, you said something in here I want to touch on real quick before we go on to number 3, and that's you hold the lockbox code. So that's absolutely true when you're doing a refinance. Buy it, fix it up, refinance into your permanent loan. We do it all the time. Lots of our clients are doing that. Because it's lower, no money down purchases. But what if you're going to sell the property? Doesn't the listing agent at that point have the lockbox code? And how can you control that?
Sure. And in most cases, even on an appraisal appointment for the sale of a property, the appraiser is going to set a showing with a showing service or with the listing agent so that they know what time they're going to be there and you don't just have some random going inside the house. You could use that time if you know they're going to be there, or you lean on your listing agent, provide them with the information, maybe ask them to meet the appraiser at the property and provide the information. On the resale, we could touch on this a little bit in the data piece, but in a hot market where, let's say you're getting 3 or 4 offers on a property and you take what you consider to be the strongest offer, it's important to let the appraiser know, and in some cases provide them the first 2 pages of the contract for the other backup offers or other offers you had at the same time that will help support the market value of the property. If more than one person was willing to pay that price, then it helps to understand that that might actually be the value of the property. Even more important if you're selling it for above the original list price was.
You know, we teach classes all the time, and one of the things I love to say, and it throws people off, is that real estate is the only commodity out there that's not a free market. And the reason for that is what you're saying. You can have a willing buyer, but if the appraiser appraises it low, if they don't have the cash to bring in the difference, you're going to have to lower your price.
That's right.
So this is important information here. And you've already touched on number 3, so let's just dive into it. What's a third way to get the appraiser to appraise what you believe it should value
Sure.
at?
So when we talk about the data or providing information, there's a couple of very key things. The first one is any comps you have to support the value, especially if it's in an area that might be, maybe there's a lot of houses that have been rehabbed. Back in the day, you'd be rehabbing in a neighborhood where there was a lot of bank-owned properties. And so how did you help that appraiser eliminate the bank-owned properties and only look at other properties that were resold and rehabbed? That's really important. So providing comps or data to show why you see the value where you do, that's important. The second one is the rehab. You're rehabbing properties. That's exactly what we're talking about in this video. So how much does it cost you to do a rehab? The argument here is that maybe for what you could do for $15,000 might take someone who calls out of the yellow pages $25,000 or $30,000 to accomplish that. So whenever they would ask for the improvements I would make, I would always provide them the list of improvements, but I wouldn't provide the dollar amount associated with it or what I spent on it. The reason is because I think, or I feel that when an appraiser sees you spent $15,000, immediately they've attached a number to it. You've increased the value by $15,000, rather than just simply looking at the improvements that you made. You might have done some of the work yourself. You might get good deals on things, and that needs to. You don't want to be dinged for the value that you're able to provide in real estate investing. If you follow these steps, I think you'll have a lot more success in hitting your values on your resales and your refinances.
Check us out. If you're looking for a hard money loan, you're looking to make some investments, we'd love to help you. We want to talk to you. Check us out, pinefinancialgroup.com.